Mississippi veterans. And it's Friday here on Good Things, which means we have Miss Tanya in the studio. And I'm always excited when I do my movie homework. I even text Rhino the picture of it opening and said, look, I'm doing my homework for Miss Tanya. And I watched Dune, which we've already talked about it this week here on Good Things, so I won't go too far into it. But yes, I enjoyed it. So I look forward to the next one because there has to be one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah, and I would watch it again, I think. I would love to see it in studio. I did do the streaming just because it was readily available for me there. But I can see the allure if you like that kind of stuff and you want to go to the movie and you're trying to choose one. I can see where it would even be better on the big screen with all the sounds and all the things.
Yeah, especially now when they've got surround sound and they've got seats that move and,
Yeah, that adds a whole nother layer that your living room doesn't. But either way, I think if you're interested in that stuff, you won't be disappointed in your time spent watching it.
I agree. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, so it's Halloween weekend. Do we have something exciting coming up this week?
Yeah, there is one new one that's of the spooky genre. It's called Antlers. This one stars Keri Russel and Jesse Plemons, who I am such a huge Keri Russel fan from back in the day when she was on Felicity. I loved that show, and I've been a fan of hers ever since. And she's made such good choices, So, but this is definitely mystery thriller kind of movie. But she's a middle school teacher, and she and her brother, played by Jesse, he is a sheriff. And they kind of get involved with one of her students who has some dark secrets that lead to some terrifying events. And so anyway, they have to, unravel that mystery.
Where do the antlers come in?
That I don't know. I think that's part of the surprise. I haven't seen it yet. So, but if you're looking for something Halloween-y, scary, spooky, that's definitely your option this weekend. If you haven't already seen Halloween Kills or Addams Family 2, that are still both out there. Another new movie this weekend is A Mouthful of Air, and it's based on a novel about a woman who she has her second child. And through the birth of that, her life around her begins to unravel.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. Is this a story about me?
But some darkness from her past. Everybody's got dark past this weekend come to light, which kind of creates her problems. So I feel like this one stars Amanda Seyfried. So if you're a big fan of the novel, and I had never heard of it honestly until the movie, you definitely want to check that one out. And then the other new release this weekend is The French Dispatch. This is the new Wes Anderson movie, which I love his quirky humor. But this one is limited. It's not showing anywhere around the Jackson area. I didn't check the rest of the state. Maybe those of you in Memphis maybe can have some access to see it. But anyway, it's just the latest. It's kind of a love letter to journalists. And these actors kind of play out different stories that are featured in this newspaper called The French Dispatch.
I think it's interesting, too, that you see commercials now for trailers, and they will say exclusively in theaters. It's almost like now they have to be explicit about like where it's going or where it's not going, because we've gotten so confused on where we get our entertainment.
Right. And, so many people, Friday night rolls around and they think they can sit on their couch and turn it on to HBO or Netflix or whatever, and then they don't know it's only in theaters. And more movies are strictly theater. So hopefully things are getting back into the swing. I have not seen crowds yet. The movies I've been to, it's never been crowded except for the Space Jam 2. That's the only crowded theater I've been in since the pandemic started.
You hope, though, and I'm not against them going back to the theaters. I think that there's a business there, there are jobs there, there are all things that should go there. But instead of it used to going straight to like DVD, I mean, who does that anymore? I do hope after enough time has passed that maybe once it's out of theater, when it used to be going to DVD, they would now make it a streaming option for all of us like who are willing to wait or maybe, see it again again. I would like to see that. I hope they don't take away streaming entirely.
Me too. And I feel like Disney is kind of doing that. They're putting their movies out in theaters for, each movie's different. Some are 6 weeks, some are 3 months, and then they put it on their streaming service. So, hopefully we'll see more of that because people just really, you can't even rent a DVD anymore, can you? There's still some red boxes here and there, but...
And then who's buying them?
Yeah, I don't even see them in stores anymore.
Right, so you got to have a way of getting them. And then you usually get double duty. You go and you get a taste of it in theater. If you like it, then you'll want to watch it, definitely. Again. Yeah.
Well, the last new release this weekend is the one that I saw. It's called Last Night in Soho. And this is a weird, trippy movie. But I liked it. And normally, I don't know that this is my kind of a movie, but it was so different. And it's a psychological thriller. Anya Taylor-Joy stars in it with Matt Smith, who played Prince Philip in The Crown. So he's a nice, familiar face. But it's the story of an aspiring fashion designer who gets admitted or accepted into her dream school, fashion design school. And so she's living with her grandmother because her mother's recently passed. She's kind of dealing with the heartache of that, gets this opportunity, and she rents a room in London where the school is, moves there, moves in, goes to sleep, and when she wakes up, she's all of a sudden in 1960. So it's sort of like a little time travel movie, but she gets kind of thrust into this 1960s situation, and she's got to try to put together a puzzle. There's a murder, and she's trying to solve it. And then in present day, she keeps waking up in present day. She feels like it's her duty to tell the person that committed the murder, got away with it, and she's trying to get him or her busted.
In the sort of right the wrong.
Yeah.
And sort of go back and sort of do that.
Yeah.
So does it go back and forth okay? Like
it does. And it's so cool the way they did it. To me, if I'm a film student, this movie would be like a master class in actual photography or whatever you call it, because they're, it's two actresses basically kind of playing the same character in a way. And just the way they do it, like she looks in the mirror and sees the other actress and vice versa. And it's just so well done. And I just thought, gosh, how many hours did it take them to perfect the movements? And
was that based off of a novel or anything like that? Or was it an original screenplay?
Yeah, I think it's an original screenplay. Edgar Wright is the guy that came up with it. He directed it. And he's also known, he wrote the first script for Ant-Man. He also directed Baby Driver. So if you saw that, that was a little bit of a different kind of movie too. High action, lots going on. The thing that's really cool about this movie, I love the 1960s as for all the colors and, of that, the color palette of that time. And so seeing that, it's almost like that marries neon or something. It's just really bright and vibrant. So it's a good one to see in theaters, and it is only in theaters.
Well, since you mentioned she was a fashion person, is the fashion on point when you think about, because when you think about the very specific decades like the 60s and the 70s, 80s get a little weird, 90s really weird. But the 60s and 70s, man, they had their own like really iconic style and fashion. Do they kind of play it with that since it's...
They do, and the fashion is definitely one of the characters of the movie because everything going on in the movie she sort of uses as inspiration to design a dress that is one of her assignments in class. So the hairdos is what kills me. They really got the good big 60s hair,
You think how much Aquanet it took to sort of get that going?
Yeah.
And then didn't move, and you have wind like we have today here in Mississippi's weather, and you're like... That's a masterpiece.
Could you imagine trying to get a comb through that at the end of the night? I mean,
no, I think that's where washing your hair only once a week came in, is because you went you got it fixed and then you slept on it and then you just teased it out and you went for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's my granny, I don't know. But okay, so such good recommendations, Tanya. I think give us something all to get out and watch and see. But thank you. Happy Halloween.
You too.
All righty, y'all stick with us. We got a few more good things for you.